Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are watching this video. Thank you for watching this video, YouTube. I'm so glad that you guys are here. I am on my first day to my local job. I'm still with the same company. They just changed my accounts. So good morning, good afternoon. Your girl got a little bit of energy today. So I wanted to make a video. Yay! It's been a while, huh? So last video, of course, I talked about delivering my first load, and I've delivered so many loads since then. And now I'm making another transition. So still with the same company, but I am considered local now. So I'll be home every single day, and I still make the same amount of money. So I was like, that's a steal. Please do it for me. Please do it for me. Anyway, I kind of wanted to give you guys a day of how it's gonna go. I did a couple days of training, and it's pretty simple. I know today, matter of fact, okay, I got my tablet. Matter of fact, today I'm just doing like a 154-mile run, so I should be home. It's 8:30 right now. I should hopefully be home by about 5 because I have to drive pretty far to pick up my truck, and then I have to drive back to pick up my truck. So it's a lot of just back and forth deadheading. But nonetheless, it took me a while to get out the bed because I was a little anxious. You know, when you're doing something new, you want to make sure that you do it right. But you know, we don't have fear around here on this channel because we can't fear what we don't know. So we go in head first. So I want to give you guys the pros and cons of being a company driver while I do this local run. Okay, things that I've experienced, you know, being over the road, what I've learned, people that I've talked to. So by no means is this a company review video. This is just the pros and cons of which Jess has experienced. Okay, so pro number one of being a company driver. Oh, they opened up this street. Very nice. I can go this way. I need to get me some coffee. So pro number one of being a company driver. This is the first pro that I think is so important. You don't have to dispatch yourself. You don't have to find those loads. So of course, as you know, as a company driver, you have your fleet manager, you have your fleet manager supervisor, and you have the trip planners, and they send you where they want you to go. You know, they plan it out for the week. They know where you're gonna go all the way up until probably a week ahead of time. So that's nice. You don't have to worry about that stress, and that means you're gonna have a paycheck at the end of the week or every 2 weeks, however you get paid. So pretty good when you're a company driver. You don't have to worry about finding loads. Even the company that I'm with now, from my understanding, they didn't suffer too badly during COVID when it first happened or whatever. So that was good. People were still getting paid. People could still provide for their families. Second thing about being a company driver is you get your health benefits. Of course, you can have health benefits as an owner-operator, but it's a little more costly. You have to pay out of pocket. That's an expense that you have to budget for. But as a company driver, it's a little cheaper. You know, I pay about $100-something for my health insurance. I have dental, vision, life, and all that other stuff. I just signed up for all of them, and I get that on every paycheck. You know, it's taken out of every paycheck, so I don't have to worry about that. Third thing pro about being a company driver is sometimes your company does make you feel appreciated. Not even gonna lie, you have people that is gonna sit there and root for you when you are feeling stressed out. You know, they try to make you feel comfortable, and they do the best that they can with what they can do, what they have. We had a truckers driver appreciation week one time with my company, so that was nice. You know, I got off the road and I had snacks and stuff waiting there for me. So I guess you can weigh that as a pro, because you have somebody there clapping for you if you're the type of person that needs that kind of validation. Fourth thing about being a pro about being a company driver is you can build tenure. Once you build tenure, which I learned with my company, I don't know if it's technically fair or not, but you get the better loads. You do. I know for a fact that one week my company sent me to Missouri 4 times. I went to Missouri 4 times. It was like as if they didn't have anywhere else to send me. So I was a little confused on why I was going to Missouri so often. But I figure, you know, okay, they got to give loads, the longer hauls to the more tenured drivers that already have been established. This was like my second week with the company, and I was just like, I mean, okay, I learned Missouri really quickly, so not bad. But you know, you get to build that tenure. You also start to get pay increases when you're with the company, so that's a pro also. I know some companies you max out at a certain amount, but you know, that might be a good thing, or that might be a security thing with some people, having a set salary. Let's talk about the cons of being a company driver. First con of being a company driver, when you're first starting out, you don't get paid squat. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm getting paid probably about $200 more than what I was getting paid with my other job as an insurance agent. And when I made this decision, I knew it was gonna be a sacrifice for myself and for my family. But you know, that's kind of why I wanted to take this local route as well, because I would still be home daily, and I wouldn't be over the road being so far away from home, and I still would be getting paid the same amount because they have a guaranteed pay. So you really don't get paid very much when you first start out. I don't know if it's just my company or what, but everybody always talks about how you have to earn your stripes in this industry, which is true and which is respectable. I expect that. Yeah. But you know, if I'm gonna make a sacrifice, it gotta be well worth it. You know, when I decided to go local, everybody was like, okay, that's understandable. The road is gonna be there. And that's what really made me feel like, you know what, okay, you're right. I did get my experience. I tried it. Certain things about the road didn't work out, but it's gonna be there. I don't totally want to give the road up, because there are things that I actually enjoyed about being over the road. It's just right now it was a perfect decision to come home. Second con about being a company driver is that although you don't have to look for your own loads, you can't choose where you want to go, that comes with going where they want you to go. They is gonna send your ass where they need you to go, okay? And sometimes you go places that you don't necessarily want to go. Now, if it's a situation where it's totally unsafe, you know, you just can't do it, you can't deliver the load, you don't feel confident, they might set you up where you can get a ride along with another driver that's been on the account for a while. They can give you maps, you know, just different things to make you feel successful. But for the most part, you're going where they want you to go. Okay, just like for instance, when I went to Missouri 4 times that week. There was another situation where I had got a load on a Monday. I needed to catch a flight on a Friday. I stay in Ohio, as you guys know, and they sent me to Tennessee. They always preach trip planning, time management, all these things. But come to find out, I couldn't even deliver my load till Thursday at 9 a.m., which was totally undoable if I wanted to catch my flight on time. So me and the fleet manager really kind of bumped heads about that. And, you know, we had to pull a couple strings where I had to deliver at 2 a.m. on Wednesday, and so I could make it back in time to catch my flight. So the thing that really got me about that situation was, I was like, why did y'all send me this load? Because it wasn't even a load for my account. When I was over the road, I was delivering electronics, but that was a Campbell's chicken noodle soup load. So I was so confused. I just kept asking, why did you send me this load? Why did you put this on me? And nobody had an answer. I don't know if they were trying to get me the miles or what the case may be, but I was like, I would have been fine without the miles. Just send me home. I have a flight to catch. So you're at the will of the company. When that situation did happen, I did talk to someone that was a little higher, and they apologized. They, you know, made me feel as though we hear you. We do care about your well-being. We understand things could have been done differently. Was I ran better after that? Nope, because there was other situations that didn't make sense. But at the end of the day, you're not totally by yourself. And that's another pro. I forgot to mention this pro with being a company driver. They are going to get your ass off the side of the road. Okay, so I've had at least 3 or 4 breakdowns since while I was over the road, with tire blowouts and, you know, just little maintenance issues. And being stuck on the side of the road is a scary thing. But they're able to pinpoint exactly where your truck is, and when you send in a request or you call and let them know that you broke down on the side of the road, and they're gonna come get you. okay, because I had a tire blow out on my trailer. I'm driving down 75 South, minding my business. I'm jamming. I was having a good day that day. I can remember specifically, I had my music blasting, and all of a sudden I hear this pop. And I'm like, looking at my rearview like, was that me? What was that? So I turn my radio down, and I just see tire debris flying down the road like tumbleweed. So I pull over. I'm like, okay, well, let me just double check, see if that was me. Lo and behold, it was. It was my inner passenger tire on the trailer, shredded to pieces. But put in a service request, called my fleet manager, let them know what was going on, and within like an hour and a half, somebody was out there. I was in my cab. I couldn't even take a nap. They came out there so fast, and then the guy that was changing the tire wanted to talk, and I was just like, okay, well, this is good. They got me off the road so goddamn fast that I didn't even get breakdown pay. So I'm asking my fleet manager like, well, I was broken down, am I still gonna get breakdown pay? He was like, you can still deliver that load, so no, you don't get breakdown pay. So that is another pro. I know I was on the cons, but I had to put that back on there. You know, as a company driver, you don't have to worry about being stuck on the road too long, which is pretty nice. All right, next con about being a company driver is you are not the only driver that your fleet manager has. Okay, so there has been instances where oh, they made this so good today, but it's a lot on top of here. I have gotten into it with my fleet manager because they have been overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed, and you know, once all was said and done, we end up apologizing to each other. But they made it very clear, Jessica, you are not the only driver. And of course, I didn't think that, you know, by no means. But in order to get their point across and to let me know, you know, players fuck up too, okay? They was like, you are not the only one out here. We have so many other people to tend to. And yes, sometimes lines get crossed and communication gets poor. But please be patient with us. And it's hard to accept when you're over the road and you're in a stressful situation. You know, like for example, when it was Memorial Day weekend, this camera is crooked. When it was Memorial Day weekend, I had delivered on a Friday. I got a load on a Thursday, and it delivered the same day. But the way that they placed the load on me based off of my clock, I wasn't going to have time to get home pretty much. And usually on that account that I was on, I was home on Friday. I was driving home and making it to the house no later than 7 o'clock every Friday. And then all of a sudden that weekend, it was the holiday. You know, I wasn't going to make it home. And I called my fleet manager, and he was like, kind of gave me like, I know you're not gonna make it home. He didn't say that verbatimly, but that was the attitude that I had gotten from him. And I was like, well, maybe you should have explained that, because I'm a new driver, that sometimes I would have to stay out over the weekends. And he was apologetic at the end of the conversation, but it really upset me. He was like, you know, we don't have the drivers that we need to deliver these loads, so we need you to do that. And I felt like that could have been communicated in advance. But as far as I'm not the only driver, they don't have time to sit around and look at everybody's clock. They do. I know that's part of their trip planning. But to get it down to the seconds and all those different things, just don't. You know, sometimes things happen where the fleet managers make mistakes. Another good thing, I know I'm still on the cons, but I keep thinking about the pros. You know, I don't know. I'm just like this type of person that thinks optimistically about a lot of situations, unless you know, it takes me there. But when you're with the company, you do get training. Okay, I can honestly say with my training, I had people tell me that I probably wasn't trained properly, and no matter, I'll be truthful about this, no matter how much training, if you'll stay with a trainer for 2 years, there is probably going to be a situation that happens that did not come up while you were in training. You know, that's why they give you the resources to be able to contact people, you know, go back to your trainer. That's why they have you in contact with the people that have been on accounts. That's why it's important to, you know, surround yourself with people that are doing the same thing as you. Like, you make trucker friends and you talk to people at the fuel stations. And most times, I'm not gonna lie, if you see another truck driver and they look approachable, they are willing to help you. So companies do the best that they can with training you, and they make sure that you're ready. They literally will ask you, are you ready? And if you say no, they're not gonna just put you on the road by yourself. You know, they don't set you up for failure, because first of all, they want to make sure that you're safe, and secondly, they want to make sure that their equipment and their load is safe. That's their money. You know, you got to think of it that way. So even with the account, when I first started over the road, I had a ride along for a day or two, you know, just to show how things were supposed to be ran on that particular account after I had come from training. And I don't think it was a matter of because they didn't think that I knew what I was doing. It was just like, this is how we do things on this account. So they'll make sure you're properly trained. So that's a pro of being a company driver. You know, I know that right now the trucking industry is booming and people are buying trucks and putting people in them, you know, finding drivers so they can make their money back. That's great, but are you trained to drive this truck if you need to get in there? Another con, going back to not being the only driver with the fleet manager, like I said, sometimes lines get crossed, things get blurred, and it causes a lot of tension. And you have to stick up for yourself. You know, when you're a company driver, you do have to stick up for yourself in certain situations. And I didn't go into trucking thinking that I would have to stick up for myself the way that I have been these last couple months. But at the end of the day, it kind of made me proud of myself, because like I said, I'm more subtle. I'm non-confrontational unless it goes there. But some situations I had to just be like, you know, y'all got me messed up. That was totally unacceptable. But all in all, when you're first starting off, I do recommend you, of course, starting with a company that sometimes the mega carriers that will accept you. The company that I'm with, from what I know and from what I've heard, is one of the better companies to start off with. I'm starting to realize certain things, and that's pushing me towards wanting to do my own thing, get my experience, and do my own thing eventually. Eventually. Ugh, why can't I say that word? But you know, in due time, I'm in one of the trucker groups on Facebook, and someone had asked the question, like, is it something to be proud of to be a company driver? Is the goal for everybody to be owner operator? And a lot of people were like, no, I'm still proud to be a company driver. I've been a company driver for 25 years. And some people do take pride in that. You know, everybody's situation is different. But financial freedom is the goal. And I just know that being a company driver, there's caps to it, there's limits to it, there's expectations, and I do think you can make a damn good lifestyle. Don't get me wrong, I think you can make a damn good lifestyle being a company driver. You know, I'm pretty sure there's company drivers out here that make more than the fleet managers, way more. But overall, being on someone else's time, unless there's a company out there that lets you make your own time, I need to know about them, because and you know, financial freedom is the goal, don't get me wrong, but freedom of your time is the true goal. Being able to do what you need to do when you want to do it, spend the money that you want to spend, not have to worry about certain things, that's the real goal. Not being a slave to anybody else. So all in all, like I said, I do suggest being a company driver when you're first starting off, and getting that experience, getting that training is the main thing, because your experience is going to come over time, whether you're over the road or not. But mainly getting that training and being a liability to a company. You know, jumping off the porch and being an owner operator when you first get your CDL, it sounds good, but there are things that when you fuck up, excuse my language, but when you mess up as a company driver, it's not held against you, and you don't have to take the overhead, and you don't have to take the maintenance, you don't have to take that hit. You're a liability to that company, and so they're responsible for you. So I think that, you know, it's pretty cool, because when I had a blowout, when I turned my trailer too short and popped one of my back tires, like they were just like, it happens, you're a new driver, we expect those things from you. And then you grow over time. You know not to make those same turns, you know not to do those things, and they see your progression. Had I got my CDL, got my own truck and trailer, got that turn too damn tight, blew that tire, that would have cost me hundreds of dollars. I probably would have turned that truck and trailer back in. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Okay, so I got my first little 500 subscribers. I'm not even gonna say little. I got my first 500 subscribers. So that means it's over 500 people out here watching, subscribing, and listening to the things that I have to say. So that means a lot to me. I know my channel is growing. It's actually growing quicker than I thought. The next goal is 1,000. I have some things that I want to give away. Since I won't be over the road, I don't use them. Some things are brand new that I never even got a chance to use. So I want to do a giveaway, and I also want to do a Q&A video. So just to keep the content going. So under my comments, leave your questions that you have, maybe as a female truck driver, from a truck driver's perspective in general. You know, things that you want to just ask me personally. Of course, if I think that they are appropriate, I'll answer them. If not, they won't get answered. But nonetheless, that also helps me have video ideas. And when I do the Q&A, if I have enough questions to do a Q&A video, I'll do a giveaway, even if I don't have 1,000 subscribers. But I really appreciate everybody that's been tuning in. People be like, where you been at? You know, I get a lot of questions and a lot of comments under my other videos, and I do my best to respond to everybody. So maybe if I do a video directly towards having questions, then everybody can get all the questions out that they have. So I really appreciate everybody that subscribe, watch, comment, share. Like, I did this so I can share my journey, and that's exactly what I'm doing. More engagement that I have, it just keeps me going. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and tune in to the next one. Bye.
that's good. And the Eagles wanna test the brother's manhood. So they came to test speech cause of my heritage. And the loud bright colors that I wear. I was a target cause I'm a fashion misfit. And the outfit that I'm wearing, brothers dissing it. Well, I stay calm and pray the leave me be. But they squeeze the parts of my date's anatomy. Why, Lord, you brothers have to drill me? Cause if I start to hit this man, they'll have to kill me. You see, take the brother out for being rude. And like I said before, I was mad by then. It took 3 or 4 cops to pull me off of him.